Olivia.
And I'm Jake.
And this is All About Animals. This week's native Australian animal is the waroo.
Hi Heidi, so who is this?
This is Maureen. Maureen is a waroo or a Black-Flanked Rock-Wallaby.
So where do waroos come from?
Waroo come from a very remote area in northwestern South Australia.
How many are left in the wild?
There's about 120 we think. It's a very remote area, so it's very hard to tell. So it classes them as critically endangered.
And what are waroos' main predators?
Their main predators at the moment would be the fox, the dingo and the feral cat. Also, they have a bit of a problem with competitors such as the rabbit and the euro, which eat the same food as they like to eat.
And what type of foods do they eat?
In the wild, they eat a bush that's called spear bush, but in captivity, sorry, she wants to go for a bit of a run. In captivity, they eat a special macropod pellet made especially for their diet. They also eat lots of different browse, such as trees and bushes that we might find.
So are there any programs to help save waroos?
There's a very big program between Zoos South Australia, the government, and also AP Wildland Management, which is where they are found. So it's a very big recovery program, and that's why Maureen's here with us, is so that we can breed these guys up and begin to release them back into the wild.
So Heidi, how can we help at home?
Members of the public can help by just supporting Zoos SA or other conservation programs. You can do that by visiting the zoos or even donating to different programs.
Thanks Heidi. Can we go play with Maureen now?
We sure can.
I'm here with Stella and Scarlett and their bunnies. Hi guys.
Hi. Hi.
What are your bunnies' names?
Moo and Toto.
Okay, so guys, what do they eat?
Well, we feed them vegetables and pellets.
And how old are they at the moment?
He's 7 weeks and she's 5 weeks.
And how big do they grow to?
Well, they grow to be about 2.6 kilos and about that big.
Okay, and what sort of space do you need to keep bunnies?
Well, you need a spot for them to run around.
Yep.
And like a cage area so they don't run away.
So Stella, how do you exercise them?
Well, we take ours for walks.
Yeah, okay. So do you have like special leashes for them?
Yes.
Okay.
They're here.
Do their ears always stay like that?
No, they lock like this.
Oh, okay. As they get older, they sort of flop down. Okay. And what made you decide to get a bunny?
Well, they're a lot easier to care for than dogs.
Yep.
And we just think they're really cute.
Okay. So Stella, what don't you feed them?
Well, we don't feed them lettuce because they hallucinate and they go crazy.
Okay. And do they do any special things?
Yes. Moo, he runs home if you tell him to go home.
Okay. Can I have a hold?
Sure.
Cool. Well, that's really soft. Thanks, guys.
Rabbits are cute and cuddly and seem really easy to look after, but are they? I'm here with Dr. Brendan Maguire to get some expert advice on rabbits. So Dr. Brendan, do rabbits make a good pet?
Rabbits make a great pet. They're very sweet and cuddly, and they like to be active when we're around, and they're very easy to train.
And what age groups are they suitable for?
They're probably not suitable for very young children because you've got to be a little bit careful about how you handle them. So probably children of around 7 or 8 and over.
So are there any special things we need to know when we're buying a rabbit?
I suppose there are a few things you need to think about. First of all is, where is the rabbit going to live? Rabbits will happily live inside, but you need to make sure that you rabbit-proof your house if you're going to keep a rabbit inside, because rabbits love to chew things. And that gives us probably really the other big thing that we need to think about with rabbits, which is what they eat. It's very important that we feed rabbits the right sort of thing. And the main thing that they need to eat is grass. If you can't get hold of grass, then dried grass or hay is the next best thing.
So are rabbits easier to care for than dogs and cats?
As long as you're feeding them right and as long as you're sensible with them, then they're pretty good. There's not too much can go wrong as long as you're getting the basic care right.
So Dr. Brendan, do rabbits need to be desexed?
It's a very good idea to desex rabbits for a couple of reasons. First of all, it will tend to calm them down and make them a more easy to get along with pet. Particularly the girls, they can get quite feisty when the right time of year comes around, and they can get very bouncy and even a bit bitey. So it's a good idea just to do it for that reason. But probably the most important reason is, again, particularly for the females, they can actually get a cancer of the womb or the uterus. And it's very, very common in older rabbits. Up to 80% of rabbits who haven't been desexed will get a tumour in their womb. So it's very important to get them desexed for that reason.
Coming up, Totally Wild's Kale Brock gives us tips to television stardom and introduces his cute and crazy puppy Goji. This is Carrie-Anne. Carrie-Anne is a shelter manager. Hi Carrie-Anne.
Hi Olivia, how you going?
So tell me a bit about what you do.
Okay, well, as you said, I'm the shelter manager. We've got 45 staff members that work here at Lonsdale. We look after everything from kittens to dogs to horses to sheep. We've got pretty much any domestic animal that you can possibly think of at some point comes through our shelter. And it's my job to make sure that the staff are looking after the animals properly, and also to make sure that the animals are happy and healthy and getting ready for their new homes.
So who do we have in this box?
So today we have Yoda. This is Yoda.
Oh, he's so cute.
Did you want to hold him?
Yes, please.
Yep. So Yoda came to us at 2 days old. A member of the public found him on the South Road, just sitting on the curb. Luckily she stopped and picked him up. He came into us and was not very well, so I took him home and fostered him myself, and he's now 3 weeks old and doing really well.
How do you adopt an animal?
So when a kitten comes into us, we assess the cat to make sure that its behaviour is good, that it's looking like it will make a nice pet for somebody. They pretty much get adopted within a week, so we're pretty lucky.
How many animals get adopted each year?
Last year, for example, we adopted over 1,400 cats, 1,200 dogs and about 155 rabbits. So
if I wanted to become a volunteer, what would I have to do?
Okay, unfortunately, you have to be 18 years of age in order to volunteer with us. Yeah. If children do come in and would like to be a volunteer with us, we'd suggest that you talk to your mum and dad about becoming foster parents instead, where you can take little kittens home and foster them. And so it's a valuable part of the volunteer program, but it just means that you're not actually on site.
When you do the foster program, can you foster all animals or just certain animals?
No, we don't put restrictions on you as to what animals, but we ask you to be honest with what you can do. So we come out and visit your home to make sure that your home's secure enough for the animals that will be living with you, and then all going to plan. We can foster whatever you'd like. We always need foster helps.
Thanks, Carrie-Anne. I learnt a lot today. And thank you for letting me hold cute and vicious little Yoda.
You're most welcome.
So what do you have to do to get your horse ready for a ride?
Lots of things actually. First of all, we have to catch him in, give him a groom so he's nice and clean, make sure there's no dirt on his head or his legs or where his saddle goes, and then we put on our equissage on him. It actually massages the horse, okay? So if we turn it on up here, you can hear it. Turn it on. Can you hear it start to vibrate?
Yeah.
There it goes. Put your hand on here and feel that. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
And then you put your hand here, you can also feel it on his neck. So it massages through the whole horse and makes them feel really comfortable, happy, and soft in their muscles too. Because if we hop on them and they're a bit tight and stiff, we actually might injure them a little bit. So if we put on the equissage first, it gets them really, really soft. And then what we can also do, if they have a stiff neck, like this guy gets a little bit sore through his shoulders here. So the handheld one, the smaller one, we turn it on. And feel that again? That's good, isn't it? And then we can just run that over his shoulders to do a bit of extra there. So that's what we do to get the horses ready before we work them.
Just like people, what's put into an animal's body has an effect on its health. Animal nutrition expert Dr. Ian Billinghurst spoke to me about why feeding your animal the right food is so important. So Dr. Ian, can you tell us what raw food means?
When we speak about raw food, this is a shorthand way of talking about what I call evolutionary nutrition. These days it also means BARF, which stands for bones and raw food, or biologically appropriate raw food. Now this is a diet which is based on raw animal foods, not on grain. So that means it's based on raw meat and fat, raw bones, raw offal, things like liver, kidney, heart, raw vegetables and fruit. Now the vegetables and fruit are more useful for the dogs than the cat, but the cat does get a little bit of these. It also means raw eggs, dairy products, things like yogurt, kelp, healthy oils, herbs, vitamins and so on. Mix these with healthy human food scraps and you have a brilliant diet for dogs and cats.
So why is it so important, especially for our pets?
Now our cats and dogs did not evolve over millions of years to eat processed pet foods. Their little bodies are crying out for real foods. They need raw foods for their bodies to function in a truly healthy way. Once we begin to feed pets with real food, their health improves dramatically. They are much happier, they live longer, and they have healthy skin and coats, and they're much more active into old age.
What can happen if we don't feed our animals the right foods?
Because our pets' bodies are designed by evolution to require a balanced diet based on raw whole foods, if we feed them with something else, they're much more likely to develop some form of degenerative disease. These pets are much more likely to suffer from problems such as arthritis, heart disease, kidney disease, epilepsy, diabetes and so on. As a vet, I also find that these pets are much more likely to suffer from cancer.
Well, thanks Dr. Ian for your time today. It's been really interesting.
It's been a real pleasure.
Did you know that in Hindu mythology, the world is thought to rest on the backs of 4 elephants who stand on a turtle shell?
This week's celebrity pet owner is Kale Brock from Totally Wild. So come on, let's go meet him.
Hey Olivia, how are you?
Good.
Do you want to come meet my dog?
Sure. So what breed is she?
She is a healer, so she's a cross between a blue healer and a red healer.
So does that mean she's a purple healer?
A purple healer. If purple healer means crazy psycho dog, then she's probably a purple healer.
So what's her name?
Her name is Goji,
Just like the berry.
just like the berry from China.
So what type of foods do you feed her?
We feed her some puppy food. I sometimes give her a mineral supplement, which keeps her healthy and even more energetic than what she already is. But I also feed her, some raw celery and cucumbers. She really likes the stems of certain cabbages.
So Kale, how did you become on Totally Wild?
I became a reporter for Totally Wild after I had done a lot of written journalism. So that's writing reports for surfing competitions and things like that. And through that, I actually got asked to audition for the role, and luckily I got chosen.
So what has been your favourite story so far?
My favourite story, actually one day, is probably way up there. One day I went skydiving. So in the morning I went skydiving, which is really amazing above all these clouds flying through the sky. And then that afternoon I actually fed a crocodile, a big saltwater crocodile. So that was probably my most outstanding day, but I do love the surfing stories as well.
Hey, thanks Kale for showing me Goji.
That's all right. Did you like her?
Yes. And hopefully we'll see you next time on Totally Wild.
Thanks, Olivia.
Bye.
Stay with us, because Olivia chats to a large animal vet about what it's like working with bigger animals. Then I show you this week's viewers' pets from all around Australia.
When we were visiting Cleveland Wildlife Park, a prickly animal was rescued. I'd heard of this animal before, but had never actually seen one. Can you guess what it is?
What we have here is an echidna that was rescued just today, this morning, so we're going to check him out. So got to be very careful. He was rescued. One of the rangers in a conservation park found this echidna down a mine shaft, so he'd fallen down a mine shaft. So what we've got to do, and he's been down there for quite a few days, and lucky it's been really cold because echidnas go into like a hibernation called torpor. And so he hasn't been using up very much energy. But what we've got to do at the moment is just make sure that his legs are all good, and so he's got lots of strength there, and we'll pop him up like this and see if he wants to show us who he is.
What type of animal is an echidna?
It's a mammal, but it's a monotreme. So monotremes lay eggs, but they also suckle their young and they also have fur on them. So this is a monotreme, and there's only one other monotreme in Australia, and that would be the platypus.
Why do they have spikes?
To protect themselves from me. No, they don't have spikes to protect themselves from me. They have spikes to protect themselves from predators. So what's going to happen, I'm trying to get her face to come out and have a look at me, but if she was to do that with a dog, maybe attacking her or having a look at her, or a fox, or another animal that might like to prey on her, then she would be in a little ball all curled up, and the spikes, they wouldn't be able to get her. Spikes protect her. So if you would like to have a look at her face, and you can have a look and see in those eyes, can you see the little tiny beady black eyes?
Yeah.
Are they all nice and clear?
Clear.
Yeah, because we need to know about those things when we have rescues in.
Are their spikes poisonous?
Well, that's a great question. They're not poisonous, but echidnas aren't very clean animals, so they have a lot of bacteria on their spikes, and if a spike, and they're very, very sharp, I can hold this echidna because I'm holding it the right way, but if you spike a finger on an echidna quill, which are one of these, it will generally get a little bit infected because of all those bacteria.
So what will happen from here?
For this little echidna, he's looking okay, not too bad, but we just want to make sure that everything's fine. So we're going to keep him in our hospital for the next 24 hours, and we're going to have the keepers monitor him. We've weighed him, so we know how much weight what weight he is, and then we'll reassess him in 24 hours. Yeah, make sure he's eating.
Wow, what an awesome little creature. I thought the spikes would be really sharp, but they were actually quite soft. It's amazing that he survived his fall. Did you know that there are currently 50 species of seahorses and they don't have any teeth?
There we go. Tendy's eating out of my hand. Good boy. As everyone knows, I love horses, and I'm really excited today because I'm here with Jeanette. You've got the job I really, really want, so can you tell everyone what a large animal vet does?
Being a large animal vet has a lot of different parts to it. Some large animal vets work just with horses like Enzo, some work just with cattle, and some work with a little bit of both. So there's a whole bunch of different things, helping sick horses to helping dairy farmers make sure that their cows are milking properly. So depending on what you want to do, there's a whole lot of different things that you can do as a large animal vet.
So, Jeanette, why did you decide to become a large animal vet?
Where I grew up, there was a lot of farms, so it was pretty normal for me to want to work on farm animals, horses and cows, not just on dogs and cats. But when I first started working as a vet, I worked on all of the different animals. The farm animals were my favorite, so when I went back to specialize, that was what I focused on.
So what animals do you mostly work with?
I mostly work with cattle, but I also get to work with alpacas and goats, sheep, and sometimes even with horses. So there's a whole lot of jobs that I get to do during a day.
Everything looks so big. Do you have to have special equipment to work with large animals?
Some of the equipment that we have is the same between large animals and small animals. So for doing our basic assessment of a horse, we still use a stethoscope and a thermometer like you would use on a dog and a cat to listen to their heart, take their temperature. But we also do a few things differently. One of the important things to look at in horses is their feet. So we usually take out for a physical exam a hoof knife to scrape off the bottom of their feet so that we can look at it. Here, big guy. Good fella.
It's okay. Enzo, it's okay.
And a set of foot testers so that we can pinch the edge of their toes and make sure that they're not sore in any one area.
Because I'm saving up for my own horse, I watched Jeanette closely to learn everything I could. A large animal vet will spend lots of time going out to people's farms to look after large animals like cows, sheep and horses. They are way too big to take into a vet clinic, so we're really lucky to have vets like Jeanette who travel to the animals to give them checkups, look after them when they're sick and even to help deliver their babies.
Thanks, Jeanette, for bringing out Enzo and for letting us meet your friends.
No problem.
Good boy.